So I am all set to do this video. uh, okay, so one of the reason I really wanted to do this video about the MDH masala controversy or news that some of the masalas have been detected to have ethylene oxide, which is a very harmful chemical found in those masala, which can cause cancer. And the reason why I really wanted to touch base on this topic is because my inherent interest on like health and safety things around food and nutrition. And I have been like a student in food sciences and nutrition sciences, so my inherent interest comes from so many years. And when I really and one of the reason why I really got affected by this news was that because I also use masalas from MDH, because when you were living abroad, it's very usual that you buy brands which you trust in terms of quality, and they are authentic, because MDH is Indian brand and Everest is also Indian brand. So a lot of people like me trust these brands for spices and other products. And when this news showed up, a lot of people got concerned, and I myself got really concerned. But the interesting thing is, I really want to talk about where this chemical comes from, and what sort of effects it can have, and why is it used in masala, in spices, or different sort of food. So first thing is, it's like a pesticide. It's a chemical pesticide. So a lot of companies, food companies, and a lot of medical companies use this product for sterility and as pesticide. But they have to adhere to certain regulations for the purpose of that it should not cause health crises, and it should not cause hazard to human health, or any impact on health of people who consume it. So it was very normal to see that these spices had ethylene oxide, but Hong Kong and Singapore, some board there, which is a CFS board of Hong Kong and Singapore, which is Center for Food Safety in Hong Kong, detected a level of this a particular pesticide more than the regulated levels, which was really concerning. Because and on also a lot of people observed side effects right away, I think. That's why those testings were done. And the spices mixes, those were listed to have the levels of this chemical up more than the regulatory levels, were the masala, Madras curry powder and sambar masala, and Everest fish curry masala also. So I don't know what are other being tested, and if there has been any other news on this but I would recommend people who watch it to avoid using masalas from these brand for maybe time period while we get the news, or like get the instruction from a regulatory body about the safe use of these spice mixes. So that's one point. But other point that I really wanted to cover is why ethylene oxide used, and also um, what it does when it goes into a system. And so it modifies the DNA and also manipulate the DNA, which is the major causes of cancer. So so it's not very like very safe chemical in the first place to use, but if it is used, it should be used in very regulated quantity, which doesn't cause a lot of problems in human body. So that's the first thing. The other thing I really wanted to cover is because when news from the MDH and the Everest came, they deny use of ethylene oxide in any of their production processes of these spice mixes. So that's one thing. And second thing, they also stated that the Food and Safety Regulation Authority in India has also not been contacted by Hong Kong safety authorities on these matters. So that's also very unreliable thing to know, because this thing was all over the media, all over the newspapers, all over the social media pages. So it's not something which is untrue, I feel. And such a big company which have businesses since so many years, like since 70 years, I feel. Since I'm born, I have heard about it. Maybe I'm just like maybe exaggerating, but since the time I know the brands and like the ads. I've been watching this MDH masala ads since ages, and so these are really trusted companies. And when they make the statement like that, it really questions their integrity, and also questions their ethics, because a lot of food brands and especially like anything that people consume, those brands are run by the reputation. If people feel safe about any product to use, and they trust for so many years that product, and they have the good image of the product in their mind, I think that's the most important thing for that company. And that's the reason because of which they have been in the business for so long, and they have been exporting that product since so many years to several different countries. And they had created so much business internationally and nationally. And if those kind of brand just ignore such kind of issue on such a bigger scale, I think it really puts a bigger question mark on which brand to trust. Because same thing happened with a lot of different brands such as Nestle, and also like I don't want to mention like a lot of names, but we all know like about the 2-minute Maggie thing that it had some stuff which shouldn't have been used in that product for human consumption. So I know a lot of things happen, but we still use that product until now, and I think they accepted that fact, and later actually um, they actually removed that thing from their production system. But um, I think those were the things I really wanted to cover. The second the other thing that I really wanna share was like, I'm not questioning what is the integrity of these companies, but I'm questioning like the loopholes in the system, which makes consumer afraid about using some product, and unsafe about consuming those kind of products. So the other loophole is, if even though if the MDH spokesperson said that okay, that like they'd never use ethylene oxide, how does it appear in the testing in Hong Kong? And also, if that's the thing, it has been tested in Hong Kong, then why other countries haven't taken any action on that thing? That's the second question. Like, why in these kind of issues government or these regulatory bodies put a blind eye? I feel like these are most important issues to be addressed, because if something is causing cancer, it shouldn't be used. It should be prohibited from all over the world, or at least for the time being, until we know what's the thing. Even though they didn't use in the processing, or like how this product got a green signal in the testing phase of the company itself, and testing phase of all the regulatory body in India in the first place, and nobody really questioned it, and it passed all the tests. Did they not observe ethylene oxide in their testing? And how did it suddenly appear in the testing of Hong Kong? And the other question is, and also like, it's my maybe a guess, or my presumption, that maybe they didn't really look for that chemical when they did testing in India. Maybe they didn't look for that chemical. Maybe their testing scale had different parameters to look for. But in my knowledge, it should be, I think, pretty much same everywhere, because if some, like, we are looking for a product, and we want to know if this product is safe to use and it doesn't cause any problems, then we should look for these critical chemicals. If they have that chemical, they should not be passed in the first stage of testing only. So as far as my knowledge is concerned, and like as far as I've read, I think even the companies it's the company who are producing that product. They um, run the testing, and they do the testing, um, and they don't turn blind eye to any sort of mishappening, or any sort of um, um, falls in their process, in their production system. So they also run their testing. And I know it's such a big company, it has such a big name all over the world, and I don't think they would ignore such a such an important element if they have in their product. So that um, really baffles me. If what are like what sort of mishappening happened in the testing. Maybe the tests weren't run correctly, but it's really highly unlikely for a company like that. And maybe even when those kind of company like are there, even if they're in India, I did a course in food food manufacturing, I think, from agriculture department. And we also learned that every company has to go through all sort of testing, approvals of any kind of product they're releasing. So I hope these testing of finding this chemical in MDH products are untrue. And if they're true, I think the appropriate action should be taken by all the governments. Not only like mistakes happen, something happen, and also if MDH should actually accept the mistake and not sell those products anymore, or maybe streamline their testing strategy a lot, and maybe take appropriate actions. Whoever have been working on those kind of things, and if they have been missed, and they should be acknowledged. If not, still they should be acknowledged. If it is like, if the reports or news are baseless, still they should come and they should present their data. And or otherwise, if they are on the wrong side, they should still present their data and acknowledge it, so that not I think the product is all over the world on the shelves, and it won't really be removed until there is some action by governments, I think, of that country. So I think it should happen soon. If MDH or Everest plant people watch this video, please address my question and let me know the truth, and let everybody know the truth. Thank you so much.